Welcome to the Weight Loss Podcast, where we offer solutions to the obstacles you face when it comes to achieving your health and fitness goals. As a married couple who's lost a combined weight of 100 kilograms and 11 clothes sizes, our raw, real, and relatable stories will show you the path you must walk to achieve and, more importantly, maintain the results you know you can reach. Because we know it works. So get ready to share the success and show the results with your hosts, Matt and Courtney.
If you think about it, most, if not every eating plan that you've ever started, you've probably quit it for kind of the same reason. You hated the food or you just got bored of it. So by the end of this episode here today, our mission is that you will be able to spot the three things that tend to drive food boredom, you might say food fatigue.
Yes.
And be able to catch them in your own eating before they derail you, and be able to fix them without having to give up the foods that you love.
Yeah.
And there are three pillars.
There are three things.
To
Mentioned
this.
three things.
Yes.
So the three things are, wow, say that really fast. Deprivation, habit, and bland and boring.
Bland and boring.
Which sounds like two extra things, but it's not, just one. It's wrapped up in one.
Yeah, trust us. Just trust us, bro.
Sounds like four. It's three.
Yeah. Cool.
Let's get started.
Welcome to the Weight Loss Podcast.
Yes.
If you're new here, that's Courtney. I'm Matt. If you're not new here, if you're returning, I'm Matt. That's Courtney.
Yeah.
So I say we dive in.
Let's do it.
Let's get this show on the road.
We have our notes.
We do. I do want to start by just saying this was one of the first issues one of the first things I learned about Courtney when we first met.
Yeah.
Was you owning up to being a fussy eater.
Yes. I've always been a bit of a fussy eater.
Would you say that you still are in a way now?
Yeah, I would.
Yep.
I feel like I'm a bit of a sensory eater as well. So
I'm double clicking on this. What do you mean?
I don't know if that's the right terminology, but I might have just made that up. But I don't eat a lot of like certain foods I won't eat, like because there's something about them, whether it be the feel of eating them or the smell or something like that, that just puts me off and I can't do it. So
Are you going to name a shame?
I don't eat a lot of fruit. And I know that's weird to people. It's not necessarily the taste, because I would have like bananas and berries, like strawberries and bananas I would put in a smoothie and I would blend them up.
Which you do.
I would not eat them whole.
Maybe it's a texture thing.
It is. So it's, for some foods like fruit, for me, it's a texture thing.
Mm.
Sometimes it is maybe like a smell or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
I just wouldn't even try the food, and I just can't even get over. You know, some people say, oh, just try it. You might like it. I just can't even try it. Like I just can't. So
I will cop to this. I do have some mental blocks on certain foods. I'm talking to you, avocado.
yeah, you do have a bee in your bonnet about avocado, and I don't know why. Avocado is great.
All right.
You look at it like it's a standalone food, though. It's not. You've got to have it with something else.
Before we even get to the meat and veg of this topic, I'm going to do some comment baiting here. If you're with me or you're not, just hit us in the comments. I am of the opinion and the firm belief that avocado offers no value. It has no taste. It's just sludge that sits on top of your toast or on the side of your plate.
Mix it into your salad. It goes great with eggs.
If you're with me, I'll take a thumbs up. If you're not with me and you think I have a problem with my life, just tell me, what am I missing here? What am I actually missing?
You know what I think ruins food? Cucumber. And this is a controversial one, because people say that cucumber doesn't taste like anything. To me, it overrides the taste of everything.
Cucumber tastes like cucumber.
So does avocado.
Yeah, avocado tastes like nothing. So nothing tastes like avocado. Okay. But yes, so we do have these things. So I guarantee it's not just you that has these weird food quirks, because we sure do. So Courtney talks about not being someone who eats fruit. Like, I'm at risk every summer of turning into a human mango with how many mangoes I eat.
Mm.
Like, right now, as of this recording, it is grape season, and I'm just expecting my skin to turn red, like all those red grapes I eat any day now.
You eat a lot of fruit.
Yeah, so I am 100% a fruit guy.
Yes.
So before we dive into the bulk of the episode, do want to just mention here at the top that we have created what we think is a handy tool. So if you find you're the sort of person that kind of mindlessly eats or grazes on autopilot and you don't realize that you've done it until it's actually happened, something I can definitely relate to in my past, we have a tool called the Autopilot Off Switch, which can be used to help sort of catch yourself the next time before these moments happen. And then you realize, hang on, why is this packet of chips empty?
Yeah.
Where's it all gone? It'll help you just catch yourself before that moment where you reach for the food without realizing it. So if that's a tool that sounds helpful to you, and it would have been to younger versions of us, just find us on Instagram and DM us the word autopilot, and we will send it right over.
Mm-hmm.
So let's jump in here, Courtney.
Yes.
Let's get a bit deeper here on our own personal experiences. So we've got deprivation.
Yes.
We've got habit, and we've got one word, bland and boring.
Yep.
Bland and boring. So you've put a note down here from a deprivation standpoint about a story of cutting sweets without replacing them.
Yes.
That would lead to binging.
This is definitely where a lot of the deprivation came from me in the past. Whenever I tried to lose weight, I would just cut food. So that was my way of losing weight. So I would cut food out of my day, especially the sweets, because I have a massive sweet tooth. So I would just cut all the sweets and wouldn't replace them with anything else. So you can imagine that didn't last very long before I would binge back on sugar.
Really?
Yeah.
So you've written here days. So sort of like a small amount of days?
Yeah, I wouldn't last
so not a week?
that long. Not usually.
Okay.
No. If I did last a week, it would have been like a work week.
Oh, I see.
And then on the weekend, I would have gone.
Oh, okay. Free for all?
Would have gone back. It would usually not have lasted too long. But even in my staple foods, I would usually cut. So that was sort of my go-to. So I would cut down food and have less variety. So it would be very bland, simple, basic food that I hated, and would also lead me to binge on other food.
So is that like a thing where you would tell yourself, oh, okay, for me to do this, I have to just cut this out?
Yes.
Or did someone tell you this?
No, well, I don't remember anyone specifically telling me that. And very rarely in my history would I ever have done sort of like a fixed diet as such.
Yeah.
You sort of just pick up things here and there, and you listen to what other people are doing and you copy parts about what other people have done and things like that.
The noise?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think that was more of my history. But, yeah, it was definitely deprivation, which then led into the habit of the binge eating cycle. And bland and boring was also in there because of the deprivation. I would pull it back so far where I thought that I had to have like plain chicken and broccoli. And that's what I was trying to force myself to eat. Or I think there was a time there where I had soup every day for lunch for like, I can't remember how long.
Really? Was it at least a chunky soup?
No. It was like a pureed soup. Yeah.
So deprivation then led to bland and boring.
Yes. Yes. It sort of was like a bit of a chain reaction through all the pillars for
So
me.
call them out. When you say sweets, is like chocolate predominantly, chocolate ice cream. Like you tell me.
For my vices, usually it was definitely chocolate or ice cream. Back then, ice cream was a really big thing for me.
Where did you used to work?
Oh, my very first job was at an ice cream shop. um, but no, I think even when I was at my worst though with this habit, I wasn't working there. So, it was definitely really bad. That and probably takeaway food for me were
What were
really
your go-to takeaways?
Oh, KFC, McDonald's, like just the usuals. But I would eat a lot. So, in my mind, I would go to like Subway to like try to do
the healthy option?
Healthy option,
Okay,
right?
Yeah.
But then I would just have like a full long sub and cookies because I was starving because I probably didn't have breakfast that morning because I was trying to be good.
Deprive.
Yes.
Suffer. Overdo it.
Yes. Yes, that's pretty much it. What about your experience?
So I can fess up to all three pillars here. So the first one I'll share is, if you don't know me, I am the Australian representative for the egg industry.
The egg, yeah. Loves eggs.
I may be on my own single-handedly propping up the egg
and potatoes.
business.
If we ran out of eggs or potatoes, oh my Lord.
Well,
you'll never see him again.
Two things. My life would end as I know it, but also we may, as a country, run out of eggs and potatoes because of me. So anyway, here we go. No one is immune to noise. And there was a period of time where I fell into the trap that you see so many fitness bros and sisters talk about, like, you got to limit your egg intake. Eggs are bad. Like, don't.
I never read that one.
It's the yolk, bro.
Oh, it's the yolk. Yeah.
It's the yolk. So you've got to, if you want to get lean, you want to lose weight, like, you've got to, like, watch out for eggs, man.
Yeah. Okay.
And as like, I consider myself an egg bro.
Yeah.
Straight up. And so, but of course, well, they're in better shape than me, so they must know more than me. I better not have eggs.
Yeah.
And this was one of the times in my life where I hated life the most, because I do like a good omelette. Since I make an incredible one, just ask me. I do like scrambled eggs on toast without avocado. Can egg. Right?
Yeah, love.
So then trying to force myself for 3 months straight, like, I'm doing this 12-week plan and I'm not having a single egg. And
not egg whites, nothing.
Just no. Egg white. I had egg whites without the egg.
So no egg yolks.
No egg yolks. No egg yolks. And if you've ever tried to make an omelette
with just
egg white without the yolk, it's not cool. Right? It's not cool. So I found this incredibly difficult. So it was just not sustainable, because it took what was a staple food of mine and something I enjoyed having, and it's just like, great, I now hate this.
Yeah. You've ruined it for me.
Love that for me. I now hate this. So that was a bit of a horror movie. But then I can also go to the next pillar of habit. And the habit, to be fair, was laziness. So once I learned about the benefits and the importance of meal planning, meal preparation for 95% of people, I thought, I can get into this meal prep thing, no problem at all. Except me being me, and I'm always looking to most amount of results from least amount of work. And that's still the same now. Nothing's changed there. But the way I applied that with my eating at the time was, well, what if I exclusively made my food from a slow cooker, except I only know how to make 2 or 3 different recipes out of a slow cooker. So my entire rotation over the course of weeks after weeks after weeks was the same 2 to 3 recipes coming out of the slow cooker, predominantly a slow cooked chili con carne. Let me tell you now, over 10 years, well over 10 years since this happened, I still have no interest in having a slow cooked chili con carne. In fact, I hardly ever use the slow cooker.
It's honestly so funny.
I'm sorry, do I amuse you?
Yeah.
Why is
It was all you ate when I first met you. It was all you ate.
Validation.
Yeah.
Now, if I had a larger array of staple recipes, this disaster could have been averted, and I would still really enjoy my slow cooked chili con carne. Get that shit away from me. And it was just, there was just a lack of variety, and I'm still paying the price now.
Yeah.
All right. Now, on the subject of bland and boring,
Yes.
let's go.
Let's go.
So this was back when before we met, when I'm like, I tell myself similar things to what Courtney would tell herself about, oh, well, you got to cut this and you can't have that. And I was living by myself, right? And I was having some pretty good success with like losing my big amount of weight when I was younger. But I thought to myself, well, I've got to eat clean. Got to eat clean, which is a phrase I don't like. But anyway, what does eat clean look like for me? Well, back then, can't have salt. Salt's not good for you. Can't have salt on my food. Can't have condiments, can't have sauces. Tomato sauce, barbecue sauce, mustard, mayo, it's out. It's all out. Get out of here. By the way, barbecue sauce is the best sauce. So
again, incorrect, but we'll move on.
None of that. That's all got to be out. But also, no seasoning. No seasoning on my food. I've got to be clean. And then I would back that up by having the same types of frozen vegetables that I would reheat. It's as good as it sounds. And I would just cook myself up some steak or chicken.
With no seasoning or sauces?
None of the above.
Ugh,
and a glass of water. And
See,
because back then,
I can't believe how long you went. I would have survived, and I did survive at different times doing similar things for 5 days.
I think I do have a tolerance for personal torture.
Yes.
Probably greater than yours.
Yes.
And that's the point of what we're talking about here today. Everyone has their limits, and I reach mine too. My limits tend to be beyond your average non-psychopathic person, but I hit mine too. And I hit mine with this as well, because this was at a time when I couldn't cook for shit. So when I would cook a steak, mate, that thing was about to just disintegrate on the plate.
Yes.
That's how overcooked it was. So I'd have this overcooked steak or chicken that was dry as hell with the same reheated 3 frozen vegetables.
Yeah.
It'd be the mix of, there's peas, carrots, and corn, or cauliflower, broccoli, and beans. And even now to this day, frozen vegetables are no longer part of my life. It's burned me off it the same way that the chili con carne burned me off the slow cooker. So I would be approaching it as okay, if I'm going to lose weight, I've got to eat clean. And eat clean looks like just this bland, boring thing. And so it just made, as you know, you pointing at the camera, getting in shape, improving your health, improving yourself as a person is a hard task, made even harder when you begin to dislike the process you are going through in order to make these changes.
Yes.
Like, it's hard enough because you've got to confront uncomfortable things about yourself. Then on top of that, well, you've apparently also got to eat this food that you don't really like.
Yes.
Very, very difficult. So those are my stories as it relates. Let's move on here to the next section, Courtney. What does this pattern look like from a coaching standpoint? Because I know, and you know, it ain't just us. So how can this be spotted in someone else? Well, I want to use this as an opportunity to grab the concept of meal plans by the collar and punch them in the face repeatedly. You okay?
Yeah.
What?
I think it's just funny.
Okay. I love making you laugh. But we're not fans of meal plans.
No.
We're not fans of meal plans because if you ask me and you ask Courtney, they're kind of a trap, because step back and look at this objectively. Someone gives you a meal plan containing foods you don't like. Not really. They don't really excite you to have them. Like, how long are you going to last? It's the clock's ticking on how long until this whole thing falls apart. So I'm of the firm belief now, having done this for a living for coming up on 16 years, that 99% of people do not need a meal plan. So you might go, well, I bet I'm part of the 1%. You're part of the 1% that do need a meal plan if in the next 8 to 10 to 12 weeks, you are competing in a weight-restricted event. Like, for example, you're getting in the cage to have a fight.
Yeah.
Or you're putting on the gloves and getting in the ring for a boxing match. Or you're competing in, a weight-classed event.
Yes.
Like, I don't know, you're going to the Olympics. Congratulations.
Yes.
Like, you probably need a meal plan to do that. But for 99% of people, you don't need one. You ask me, you're going to get more mileage by teaching people how to create their own meal plan.
Yes.
Based on the foods that they like, the foods that they learn work for them in their body, and foods that they can sustain eating to get the result they want to get. And so this is what I see all the time in the coaching space, is that you'll talk to people that have come off doing insert program here, and a common thing I've heard for so long now is, I didn't like the food. Okay, well, what did you eat? Oh, well, I had to cut this and I had to avoid that and I had to have these ingredients. I didn't really like these ingredients. I was like, well, of course it didn't last. Like, you've turned what should be an enjoyable part of the process, which is eating food, because eating food's fun, into a chore.
Yes.
And then if you can help people over time, and it does take time to do this, design their own meal plan for themselves, that takes a lot of the guesswork out of the equation and instantly makes it more sustainable. And there's going to be tells, right? There's ways to tell from a coaching standpoint when someone is clearly disliking the food that they're eating. And this is where a food diary can be very insightful.
Yes.
So there are certain tells on a food diary. So the first one is real easy. When you'll look at someone's recording and it's like 4 p.m., handful of almonds and carrot sticks. And I look at that and it's like, fuck, I'd hate that too. Right? That's 4 p.m. 9 p.m. Magnum ice cream, half packet of Tim Tams, Mars bar. Bang. You're forcing yourself to have this bland rabbit food, and eventually something's going to give, and you go looking for what you really want somewhere else. Another tell is when someone has cottoned on to the importance of meal planning, meal preparation, because for most people it's a really helpful tool. Okay, no problem at all. You've planned your food out. You've spent some time on the weekend prepping your food for the start of the week. Thumbs up to you, except for the part where you don't eat it.
Yeah.
So you've got it in the fridge or you've got it in the freezer, but Uber Eats just rocked up. There's my fish and chips.
Yeah.
There's
I don't want to eat that.
there's my burger. It's like, yeah, I don't want to eat the food I've made for myself.
Yeah.
Cool. You're bored of it.
Yeah.
What are you doing? It feels like a chore. It's just another tell. And another big one. This is one that always makes me giggle just a little bit. I'll tell you why that is. You'll have someone where, because I'm not too proud to admit, I've reviewed hundreds of thousands of food diaries in my career. And can I just, as an aside, they are as fun to review as they are to record. But they're necessary evil.
They are.
Necessary evil. Right, okay. So you'll have someone where you go through their food diary and it's like Monday to Friday. And you're reading what they're doing, the times and the ingredients and all this stuff. And it's like, not bad.
We're looking good.
In fact, this could be to a quality that I could potentially adhere to. Like, this is so consistent and so good. Then you get to the weekend and it's like, okay, I need you to blink twice if you've been taken hostage. I will send help. Because the difference on Saturday and Sunday compared to Monday and Friday is so vast.
Yeah.
So vast. Have you been replaced by someone else? This reads as if someone else sent this through.
There's two different meal plan food diaries happening here.
Well, it's just like, here's the cliche. I'm really good during the week, but please don't ask about my weekends.
Yes.
And then when you see the information, and to be fair, I give credit to people that own up to this.
Yeah.
Like, it is an absolute positive trait because you've got to own it to be able to work on it.
Yes.
But just from the point of reviewing it, it's just like Monday to Friday, or some cases Monday to Thursday, the weekend, it just looks like two different people.
Yes.
It's like, okay. So you're forcing yourself through the week to have food that actually doesn't really hit the spot because you think and you feel that you're on a diet. So then come the weekend, it's an absolute free-for-all.
Yes.
And off you go. Again, a very, very easy tell. And I think a lot of this is unfortunately promoted and still promoted by a phrase I used earlier, clean eating.
Yeah, I'd agree with that because that is what I sort of fell into as well with my deprivation like yours. It's like you think you're doing the right thing. You think you're doing the right thing by cutting all of these things out because it's what we've been told.
If you looked at it from the perspective of, okay, we're going to make optimal choices, like clean eating as a concept makes sense, except it falls apart once you apply human nature and human emotions to the picture. And just for the fact that the vast majority of people can't live like that.
Yeah.
They're going to break eventually. In fact, this is where some people will claim or feel that, I only eat food for fuel. 16 years doing this for a living, I've only met one person that genuinely does.
Yep.
One. And they're not sitting at this table.
No.
So that's where we stand on the problem. So just before we move into the solution side of the show, just want to mention one more time the Autopilot Off Switch.
Yep.
Tool designed for the person who mindlessly eats and doesn't realize it until it has happened. What has to happen to get this tool?
Just jump over to our Instagram page and you can comment or DM the word autopilot and we'll send it
straight through. So I will also put a link to our Instagram in the description/show notes. So you can just tap and away you go. Let's solve some problems.
Yeah, let's talk about some solutions for all these issues we just laid out.
Yeah, let's get positive.
Yeah.
From a personal standpoint, how have you overcome this?
For me, it was variety. So we've spoken a lot about boredom and about cutting and deprivation.
Yep.
So one of the biggest things that Matt taught me was when we first met was single thing you cut out, you have to replace. So that was obviously, it sounds so simple, but that was a new concept to me because I'm so used to cutting, and just then working with such a smaller variety of foods and meals. So for me at the time, that was massive. It was very much a case of, you genuinely do need to cut some of these things out because you can't get the results that you want eating this sort of food. However, we can't just cut it out and replace it with nothing. So we need to find something else to be able to replace with. So I think that was a massive one for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was the replacing for everything that we cut out.
Okay. Get specific.
So it would be for ice cream. What can we have instead, basically? So, and I would still eat ice cream, obviously sparingly, but so I didn't cut it out altogether. That was another thing too, actually. It's even the things that are my treats, it's learning that you can still have them, but in moderation and where to have them.
Mm.
But in between those times, what to have instead. So I would make, homemade little desserts. So it would act as a dessert because it wasn't necessarily specifically the ice cream I was going for. It was the dessert aspect. It was that little sweet sugar hit at the end of the day. So by replacing that, by making something of my own that I knew was going to, it's not the replacement nutrition-wise for an entire meal, but it was going to be better than the ice cream.
Yeah, you're upgrading the choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So big fan of replacing. Had to learn that myself because cutting food, I mean, most people are doing well to make 5 different food choices a week. And then when you're told or you tell yourself, well, I've got to cut 3 of them, your menu gets a lot smaller.
Yes.
Take it from me.
Yes.
And that's when it becomes very easy to resent what you're doing. So big fan of replacing.
Big fan of replacing. We would also would make a lot of our own food instead of going out and getting takeaway, but we would make it resemble, takeaway food.
What do we call it?
Takeaway food. So we make homemade burgers and chips, and we'd make lots of different stuff over the years.
Well, the smoothie bowls now, for me, replace ice cream.
Yes, it's like a protein custard kind of a bowl that you add fruit to, and that becomes your sweet treat at the end.
Yep.
So, definitely replacing and finding ways to recreate in a healthy way at home our favorite sort of takeaway foods. Yep.
For me, I will say, most people will look at what I do now and they will think on a surface level, wow, Matt eats the same food. Matt eats a lot of omelets and has a lot of smoothie bowls. I mean, yes, Matt does. But I have learned that I get the variety that I need within a certain framework. So what does this mean? Well, I can have variety in the same meal. So let's say, for example, because I cook a real good omelette, trust me. And each omelette could look different. How can it look different? Well, this one over here may have beef mince, or as our American friends say, ground beef, with Mexican taco seasoning cooked through it. The next one might have roast chicken or turkey.
Yep.
I will also, so what I do is I will vary up my sources of protein. I'll vary up bases of fruits, vegetables, salads. I even will vary up carb sources. Like this meal may have jasmine rice. This next one may have quinoa. This other one may have brown rice, or may have those mixes you get where it's like brown rice and quinoa. Or I can, with the smoothie bowls that I like to have, because they've replaced ice cream for me, I actually don't have a desire for ice cream anymore, just as a little side note. But I can vary up my smoothie bowls and my desserts by, well, okay, I'm going to have chocolate protein in this one. And this other one over here, the next time I might have caramel protein or banana, you know? Or I can get creative and go, well, what happens if I mix the chocolate protein and the caramel protein? Oh my goodness. Okay, this is real good. So I tend to approach my foods with an experimental mindset
Yes.
of what happens if.
I think, yes. And your food tends to be a bit design your own. Like we cook meat separately, we cook vegetables, everything separately. So then we can sort of put it together the way we each want it.
Yeah.
We're a little bit different still in the way, and that's fine. Where Matt can have technically the same recipe, but obviously change out those ingredients to match. And he could have that same recipe every day.
Yeah. I look at it as being modular.
Yes.
Is what it is. So it's like, well, I can have this meal, but tweak the protein source. So instead of like a red beef mince, it might be chicken or turkey.
So it looks the same, but the variety is coming from the ingredients that he puts into it. And that's enough for you, right?
Well, the thing is,
that's enough of variety to keep you interested.
It is, but I should probably really flesh out what this means, because I'm big on changing texture and I'm big on changing flavor.
Yep.
And there's ways to change that. If you have, for example, a rotation of really favorite go-to recipes and meals that you are happy to rotate through, you can add just limitless amounts of variety within those by going, well, what happens if I cook this recipe with this flavor seasoning instead of that flavor seasoning?
Yes.
Or what happens if, I'm making a dish that's featuring potatoes. Okay, what's the difference between white potato and sweet potato? How does that affect this meal? Or if I'm having white potato, if I cook them with herb and garlic seasoning versus barbecue seasoning, which is the best, or bagel seasoning. Same thing with fruits and vegetables. So I'm making a salad bowl. Well, what's it going to look like if this next salad bowl, I might just sneak in there some fresh cuts of fruit, some strawberries, some fresh blueberries.
Yeah, so it's adding
pineapple.
some sweetness, some texture, some variety in the ingredients you're using.
Yeah.
Yes, but the recipe base is the same. Now, for some people, though, that isn't enough variety. So for me, I need different recipe base, not necessarily every day, but I do need a variety. I can't have technically the same recipe base every time I eat. And that's okay. There's actually nothing wrong with those two options because the variety is still there. It's about what you can sustain.
I think an easy way to know you've hit the mark is if you take a step back and then realize, I'm not looking for the fix anywhere else.
Yeah.
That's how I know that what I've developed for myself is a winner, because I don't have an urge, like big sweet tooth here as well. I don't have an urge for chocolate bars. I don't have an urge to go and have ice cream or delicious gelato.
Yeah.
Which is very delicious.
The other one for me, which I think is a really big one and underestimated, is making sure that you like the look of your food.
Oh,
so
huge.
Again, I think we come back down to that sensory style of eating where, texture is important, taste is important, but I think also the way that your food looks can be really important too. So if you don't like the way that your food looks, then that is already going to have a negative impact on your mentality behind eating that food.
One thing that we've been taught that is really the truth is that when you're eating a meal, the first bite is with your eyes. So for a lot of people, the presentation
yes
can make the difference. And a really good example can be when I spoke about earlier, those real bland steak and 3 veg I'd have for myself, and you look at it on the plate, right? And it's just steak, veg 1, veg 2, veg 3. Like, there is no visual appeal to that. Like, you don't look at that and think, oh, let's go.
Yeah.
However, you might take a medley of, say, vegetables and salad and just chop it up, dice it up into a bowl or something, or put it on your plate, and all you see is just this array of color all over the bowl. The presentation has a different effect on you. So Courtney could not be more correct with this. I would just say, if you are the sort of person that looks at your meal and thinks, God, not again, next time the experimentation or the experiment you run might be present it differently and see what that does. And by the way, the presentation can also be different purely based on bowl versus plate.
Yeah. Yeah, that can make a difference too. What are the other things that you've seen or helped clients with in solving some of these problems?
Number one is to not give out meal plans and be very upfront with that. I am currently on a 15.5-year streak of having never given a meal plan, and that streak ain't going to die anytime soon. So being upfront and saying, just so you know, like, this program is not about giving you a meal plan. It's about teaching you how to design your own meal plan of foods that work for you, that you like. Because if you are eating foods that you know are helping you with, they give you energy, they help you recover, they help you perform in the gym, they help you perform at work and in life in general, and they are helping you so that your body shape is improving, your clothes are fitting differently, and you love eating these foods and they're giving you all these benefits, you've won the game.
Yeah.
Because that's how this becomes sustainable. So I start by just laying the expectations right there. The second thing for most people is, especially when they're new to this, or they've gone from diet to diet to diet, and all they're used to doing is being told or telling themselves, cut this, avoid that. An initial goal is, right, spend the next 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks reintroducing yourself to your kitchen. Get in there and just start trying new things. Not with the expectation of, oh, this has to be what helps me lose weight, but with the approach of, I want to come out of this 6, 8, 10, 12 week experiment with some new staples in my rotation. You have to find out what is going to hit, but also what is going to miss. But understanding that the world isn't ending if you go and try some new recipes and they're not initially hit. It's like you cook a new recipe and you're like, oh, it's okay. What I do is I don't throw the whole thing out. I think, well, if I were to make this again, what will I do different? What will I add? What will I replace? What will I substitute that could change this? Could I change the cooking method? You know? So I get people into the kitchen, and just go and try some new stuff. And then just report back. What's worked? What didn't? What would you change? Because eventually the aim is to be where you build yourself a menu of a rotation of meals that you love, that you know that, okay, this week I've got a big time crunch with work. I just haven't got the capacity to experiment with new things, but I can go back to my good old staples because I know they're going to work. I know they're going to keep me on track. Great. Right? Having that experimentation mindset is going to help reframe looking at this from a perspective of like, oh, well, this has to be a hit the first time. No, it doesn't. And no, it probably won't. With the whole view being to get you to that stage that I said before of you're eating food that you know is working for you and you enjoy it and you can sustain it. This is how you start to build real, genuine, effective consistency. So don't tell someone what to eat. Teach them how to figure it out for themselves.
Yeah. And what's going to work for you? Because as we mentioned, this is probably a good time to recap this. As we mentioned, there's not one size that fits all when it comes to variety of eating. For some people, there is a very small, as you mentioned, I think we've only ever known one person in our lives who can eat literally the exact same food every meal and be completely happy with it and sustainable for him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not Matt.
No,
Definitely not me. And I would say that is unusual. The more usual, I guess, way to go about it is to find a mixture of what's going to work for you. You might be something similar like Matt is, where you don't want to have to think of new technically recipes every single time. You really like the recipe base you're having, but the variety is going to come in the ingredients you're using for that recipe base. Yeah. You might be someone similar, fall in between like me, where you can do that, but only for a certain amount of time, and then you've got to try something new. We've known people who have been really happy with the same sort of five dishes, and they'll cook those for the week. They'll cook those for 2 weeks, and they'll freeze some, and they're more than happy to have frozen, reheated food. I personally don't like frozen, reheated food, so I do food preps more often, and that's just what I'm willing to do because I don't like frozen, reheated food.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's multiple ways to go about it, but obviously we want to be hitting those pillars that we spoke about earlier, which are, Matt?
Avoiding those pillars, ideally. Deprivation, habit, and bland and boring. Bland and boring. So there is no real one size fits all with this. It's about taking the time to experiment, to just see what's going to work for you and then become a sustainable process. And that's going to look different from person to person. There's what works for Matt isn't going to work for Courtney. I mean, what works for Courtney could work for Matt, but what Matt currently does is working. So why change?
I honestly think as well, one of the best tips I was given by Matt at the start was replace.
100%.
Don't take something out of your everyday eating routine without replacing it with something that's better.
Yeah, especially if you know that you're a sweet tooth.
Yes.
You're not, take it from us, you are not going to lose that. I'm still a sweet tooth now.
Yeah, I'm the same.
100%. I love it. It's just taking the time to find adequate substitutions, but then also giving your body time to adjust.
Yes.
Because the junk food that we like, the chocolates, the chips, whatever, will have ingredients in there that kind of make it addictive.
100%. It takes a little while before you lose that.
And then when you go to the fake away route of okay, instead of having constant drive-through KFC, I'm going to learn how to make it at home, or I'm going to go away from delicious creamy gelato to more homemade smoothie fruit bowls. There is a difference. I'm not going to sit here and say, it's just as good as the real thing. Actually, it's not. But it's also nowhere near as damaging.
It's also not full of sugar.
To your health goals, right? But your body takes time to adjust. And I had to go through the same thing, as did Courtney. So there is a level of patience required, but I promise you, your body will catch up, and you'll know it's starting to catch up, because the urge or the desire or the distraction of I'm kind of bored of this, might go and get a massive block of chocolate, it starts to go away.
Yeah.
And that's how you get to the stage where, and back me up on this, I know for me, I love my food now so much, what I make here at home, I can comfortably go weeks without having a single off-plan bit of food.
Yeah. We talk about it, actually. We don't go out to eat anywhere near as much as we used to.
No.
And we're more than happy to stay in and even just try out a new recipe, but just here at home instead of going out. So going out and having that variety is still important. It's still a part of balance, but we just don't think about it as much as we used to.
Yeah. So I think we can wrap this up here. But I do want to say that if we've got to this point and you're thinking to yourself, well, I kind of like what I'm doing and it's sustainable, don't change for change's sake.
If you're getting results, no.
If you're getting the results that you want and what you're doing is sustainable, don't mess with it.
No.
Like, it's so hard to find a winning routine. If you're on it, stay on it. But I would definitely recommend doing a bit of a self-check for yourself. So if you're being honest and it's like, oh yeah, you know what? I do tend to go miles off track on the weekend, or yeah, you know what? I was cooking those meals, but just not having them. I was going to get something else instead. That is your cue.
Yeah.
To go and try a few new things and just start to experiment with variety, and just understand that the fix here does not need to be a gigantic overhaul.
No.
In fact, I am of the opinion the fix should start small with variety and flavor and texture, but also and presentation.
Yeah, presentation's a big one.
You know, like it's...
You have to like the look of your food and be excited to eat it.
Definitely.
If it's a constant chore to eat the food that you're going to eat, then that's a bad sign.
I'm really glad that Courtney mentioned that. Like, I think I'm not big on rules when it comes to anything in the health space, but there is definitely a rule I'll apply here. Food should never be a chore.
Yeah.
Like, we're human beings. We are we have to eat to live. Like,
yeah.
You know, so if you take, as I said earlier, what is already a hard process and then make it even harder by your food being a chore, like if you ask me, it's inevitable that you're going to fall off.
It is.
It is. So we're done. So if food boredom or hating what you eat is something that you find is just continuing to catch you out, generally it's going to be like a handful of sort of bigger mistakes that are underneath the surface here. So I have made a free training on the 4 most common mistakes that people make when they try to lose weight. It's a video on YouTube, a bit of a deep dive. I'm going to put a link in the description below.
Mm-hmm.
Go check it out. I think you will get a lot out of it if you want to go even deeper on what we spoke about here today. So we're done.
We're done.
Anything else you want to add?
No, thank you.
How about a high five? See you next week.
Are you ready
Bye.
to share your success? Head over to our website for full access to our show notes, resources based on today's topic, and links to our Facebook group so you can share your story with our hosts and many others out there who are looking to achieve and maintain their health and fitness goals. You can find all that and more exclusively at theweightlosspodcast.com.